A town in Pennsylvania would be completely wiped off the map in one day. Near 2,200 people would lose their lives in the wake of an epic tragedy. But a few heroes would arise, saving as many lives as possible. This is their story. Appalachia, the mountains are like no other. From its rigid terrain, beautiful wildlife, to the people that live their lives here, to the strange, unexplained stories that folks share. Join me while I share this amazing place, one story at a time. May 31st, 1889 would start as any other day and would end in utter tragedy. 2,200 men, women, and children would pass, but 12-year-old Tommy Klein would rise a hero, single-handedly preventing even more deaths, saving 11 children from the disaster. This is the real true story of the South Fork Dam disaster and the heroes that lie in the wake of the disaster. May 31st, 1889 was just a typical day. Everyone going about their daily lives. Children in school, teachers teaching, store keeping the store, and farmers minding the farm. 12-year-old Tommy Klein was up to no good. He went to a local farmer's apple orchard on the hill that overlooked the river. He was stealing apples. But then Tommy noticed something. A low rumble through the ground. Birds were all flying away in panic. Animals running scared. That's when he saw it. A huge 40-foot tall wall of water headed towards the town. The water was black from all the dirt it was washing with it. Houses and trees were swallowed whole. As fast as he could run, he headed straight for the schoolhouse, where he would ring the bell until his fingers wore to the bone, blood flowing down his arms. Then he ran through the town, going door to door, yelling, "The river's out! The river's out! Run to high ground!" He would snatch two young children walking along, taking them to the church. They climbed to the attic and opened the window in case they would need to escape. Then it hit. The wave unleashed all hell on the town of Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Trees splintered. Homes disintegrated from the pressure of the water. Everything decimated. All except one place. That church. It held on. Tommy and the children kept an eye out for anyone swimming by and rescued everyone they could from the window of the church. They tied shirts together to pull a baby in a wash tub floating down the river of wood and debris. They saved a man and his dog too. There were literally whole houses floating by. A man took his belt off and tied a child to the roof of a house as it floated down the river, saving it from drowning. Tommy taught the kids to keep lookout for bump logs, massive logs that could punch a hole right in the wall. They were in the attic 40 hours. The group found a tin of communion wafers to eat. Tommy would use a hymnal book to open the tin. He would comfort the group, keeping them calm and safe. When that water finally dropped, Tommy led the children out over the decimated town. His shoes gone. He lost his voice from all the yelling. He had also wrapped his poor hands in altar cloths. His mother soon found him while he was counting the children on the hill, 11 in total. They were so happy to be reunited. Tommy would never ring a bell again. When he was 19, Tommy joined the Army Corps of Engineers. His first job would be a dam inspector. He wanted to help prevent another disaster. It would take 6 years to clean up the mess. 1,600 homes were lost. 2,200 people perished. 777 were unidentified. There was a few others who were heroes from this event as well. John Park was an engineer at the South Fork Fishing and Hunting Club. When the dam began to show signs of failure, he got on his horse and ran to warn residents of the doom to come. Hattie Quinn was a telegraph operator. She stayed at her post, sending warnings to Johnstown that the dam was liable to give way just before it was completely destroyed. There were ordinary residents that were also heroes. They risked their lives to save others from the debris-filled burning water at the stone bridge. There were unnamed people who buried the 777 unknown victims in the Grandview Cemetery in the wake of this disaster. John C. Hess, a train engineer, heard the dam failing. So to warn the town folks, he tied the train whistle down and reversed the train fast as it would go, telling everyone there was a problem, saving many in the valley just before the train was swept away in the flood. Maxwell McAkern pushed 16 people to safety. He would pass holding a child he was trying to carry to safety before they were swept away. Clara Burton arrived just after the water receded. She spent 5 months in Johnstown, establishing the first American Red Cross reputation for disaster response and setting up hotels, food, and clothes for the surviving victims. Dynamite Bill Flynn would lead 900 men to clear the wreckage from the stone bridge to help in the relief efforts. Near 7,000 volunteers would help in the cleanup of Johnstown itself. Now, just what caused the South Fork Dam disaster? The South Fork Dam held back Lake Conemaugh. For days before the disaster, there were torrential downpours flooding the lake beyond its banks. The dam was once part of the Pennsylvania Canal System. Then the lake was all lowered and then taken over by the South Fork Fishing and Hunting Club to create a recreational lake. The dam was being poorly maintained, and the flooded lake proved way too much, and it would give away. This was just devastation. The South Fork Dam disaster in Johnstown, Pennsylvania was the greatest loss of civilian life in the United States for 112 years until September 11th, 2001. The 777 unidentified men, women, and children were buried in the Grandview Cemetery, where they were honored with a monument known as the Monument of Tranquility. It would honor 396 children, 124 women, and 198 men, all unknown. 99 entire families were obliterated. Bodies were found for the next 22 years as far as Cincinnati, Ohio. The area is known as the Plot of the Unknown, where they all rest in everlasting peace. What an absolutely tragic story and such a huge loss of life. 2,200 people perished. 777 of those were buried but never identified. So they lie in utter peace and rest at the Grandview Cemetery, hopefully to rest in peace forevermore. I just wanted to do this story to bring back memory to a lost piece of history that happened so long ago. Such a tragic disaster. Folks, I want to thank you for sitting and listening to the story of the South Fork Dam disaster and its heroes who helped save lives. Well, I appreciate you listening. I love you to pieces. And I'll see you next time.